Hello friends, I am Shivaji Bhaskar, Faculty of Russian at the School of Foreign Languages, IGNOU. I welcome you all to this course, Basics of Russian Communication Skills Part 1. As you know that we have been discussing about several other concepts of Russian phonetics and many other sentences which we have done in simple, interrogative and affirmative. As you are already aware about the agreement between the noun and adjective endings, in this module, we will be talking about certain such sentences where you will find that animate and inanimate things of Russian. So, we are going to talk about in a particular case which is also known as the nominative case, where these kind of sentences are being formed. Let's pay attention to the next part and see that how the usage of что and кто are being used. Next part. In this part, you will see various sentences where we use что, which means what, and кто means who, are being used. As you already know that these are being used as interrogative words, as что, which means what, and кто, which means who, and such other more expressions which play a very important role in Russian. Since through these kind of expressions we express our thoughts and inquire about many things. The role of udarение or the stress is also very important in order to make the Russian speech well. So, let's take some examples and understand the role of что and кто. But before that, let's listen to some of the important expressions of Russian, like the daily greetings which we use: Здравствуй, Здравствуйте, Доброе утро and До свидания. Здравствуйте is like hello, a formal hello in Russian, like namaste in Hindi. Здравствуйте, it is oftenly used in formal settings. However, when friends meet, they can also use здравствуй. It is more of a casual greeting, like привет. Доброе утро, it is only for good morning, and До свидания we say when we are saying goodbye. Okay, now let's go ahead. Now all these expressions which you just learned, we will be using in a form of a dialogue, so that you have a fair idea about how to use these expressions regularly. Здравствуйте, Galina Nikolaevna. Здравствуй, Anna. So here you can see Galina Nikolaevna and Anna, there are two characters who are talking. Здравствуйте, Galina Nikolaevna, says Anna. And Здравствуй, Anna, says Galina Nikolaevna. What does it indicate? That Anna is younger than Galina Nikolaevna. That is why she is saying Здравствуйте, whereas Galina Nikolaevna is saying Здравствуй. So this is a very normal thing in Russian. Wherever you will see that two people are talking, if the other person is senior to you, you would say Здравствуйте, and then the senior person has this option either to say Здравствуйте or Здравствуй. However, normally in Russia you would always see that senior people and people who are senior to you use the informal way of communication. So the next line is: У вас есть газета, аргументы и факты? Да, есть. Ты хочешь ее читать? So Anna is asking, У вас есть газета? Газета we already know means newspaper. The title of the newspaper is Argumenты и факты. And then Galina Nikolaevna is asking Anna, Да, есть. Yes, I have. Ты хочешь ее читать? So here if you pay attention, she is addressing to Anna with ты, like तुम in Hindi, and вы is like आप in Hindi. So ты хочешь ее читать? Do you want to read it? So ее is for газета or the newspaper, Ty хочешь ее читать? And читать is means to read. Да хочу. Можно? Yes, I want to read it. So she is simplifying with the help of only two words, да хочу. So she has conjugated the verb as per the person хочу. Я хочу. Instead of saying я хочу читать газету, she is saying да хочу. You can also use this kind of communication if the person is known to you. Можно, можно. May I can also be used in Russian with the expression of можно, можно. Конечно, конечно. Then Galina Nikolaevna saying конечно. Конечно means of course. Very important expression you can also use in order to have a very good conversation in Russian, but this is more like a casual conversation. So, конечно. Спасибо. Anna is saying to Galina Nikolaevna, спасибо, which means thank you. And then Galina Nikolaevna is concluding the conversation with пожалуйста, пожалуйста, which means please. It can also be used as saying спасибо in a different form. Пожалуйста. So I hope this kind of a communication between two is helpful to you. You can also replace the character as well as some of the situations. The name of the newspaper maybe. Instead of saying yes, you can say no, and certain other kind of other expressions can also be used in this dialogue. And I would like to recommend you all to have this dialogue among your family and friends so that you have a fair idea about how do we communicate in Russian in this kind of a informal setting. Alright, now let's go ahead and understand the concept of что and кто. So before going to the other part of the module which belongs to understanding the word кто or means who, we shall talk about что first. Что это? Что это? Now since I am going to ask a question, so as per rules the sound of the last word would go higher because I am framing a question. Что это? Question mark. So I want you to prepare yourself without even looking at the screen when you listen to such expression where the person is asking and это has been used, что это, and это with a higher tone or a pitch means the person is asking a question. What is this? Что это? Then you can answer. In this case we are answering это книга. This is a book. Это книга. Что это? Это окно. Что это? Это журнал. Что это? Это словарь. Что это? Это ложка. So here you can also use certain other words like we have used окно, журнал or словарь, which means окно is window, журнал is journal, and словарь is dictionary. So you can also use numerous other examples, and in this same construction you can ask the question like что это, the answer would be это and the object you have. Okay, now let's go ahead to the next part. Here a few more questions with the help of что we will make. Что это? Это вилка. Что это? Это рубашка. Что это? Это книги и журналы. So we are also learning new words, like in this case we have что это? Это вилка. This is fork. Что это? Это рубашка. This is a shirt. And что это? Это книги и журналы. So instead of using the singular, we are now changing into plural. Это книги и журналы. किताबें और जर्नल्स. इस तरीके से भी इन सब चीज़ों को समझा जा सकता है. Что это? What is this? Это книги и журналы. These are books and journals. Please remember the word что, which means what, is pronounced as что. However, when we write it, we write with che, but when we pronounce it, the sound is like sh, sh. Okay? Alright, now let's go ahead and pay attention to the next part. Okay, we have learned about two important words here, loshka, which means spoon, and vilka, which means fork. That you will also be learning about cutlery in a dedicated module about cuisines, about food, about cutlery, and about many other things which we use in our day-to-day communication in Russian. So before that, please pay attention to these words which we have used. Okay, now let's go ahead and pay attention to some of the words. Okay, now let's go ahead. Here in this section, we are going to discuss about two different characters, since as a methodological tool we are using the dialogue. In this case, we are going to use кто, which means who. Кто это? Who is this? Before that, we have done что это? What is this? So you have to be very clear about many things, whether animate or inanimate. Okay, so here we are going to ask questions. Кто это? Who is this? Now I am answering это Ivan. This is Ivan. So in place of Ivan, you can also replace it with Anna, Sergei, Galina Nikolaevna, and many other names you have learned in the previous modules. Now the next question is кто это? Это студент. Кто это? Это студентка. Кто это? Это врач. Кто это? Это Larissa. So what do we see here? We see that a simple question like кто это? Who is this? The answers can be numerous. For example, in this case, we are asking who is this, and answer is это студент. This is a student, and then we are also changing into this is a student, which mean female student, with это студентка. Then we are using врач, это врач. Then we are using a name, это Larissa. Like we have used the word Ivan. Okay, I hope this concept is clear to you whenever framing the question with кто and что. Alright, so my recommendation is that you may please try this exercise with numerous examples which we have done, and you will find that communicating in Russian is easy. Okay, now we will be moving towards a very important part of this module, that we will be discussing about days of the week. However, in our previous module we have discussed about what are the days of the week, but in this we are going to discuss them in details. So please pay attention to the days of the week. Понедельник means Monday. Вторник means Tuesday. Sreda means Wednesday. Четверг means Thursday. Пятница means Friday. Subota means Saturday, and Воскресенье means Sunday. Okay, so these are the 7 days of the week starting from Monday to Sunday. So let's repeat once again. Понедельник, вторник, среда, четверг, пятница, суббота, and воскресенье. Now let's use сегодня. Suppose if I want to say today is Monday, I have this sentence: сегодня понедельник, today is Sunday. Сегодня понедельник, сегодня вторник, сегодня среда, сегодня четверг, сегодня пятница, сегодня суббота, and сегодня воскресенье. So you have also a construction of 7 different sentences where you are saying today is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. You can also ask a question using Какой сегодня день? What day or what day is it today? So you can also use сегодня понедельник and as per the day of the week. So these kind of important words which you will be using every day. So please remember them very well and use them in different context. Okay, please now let's go ahead and pay attention to several construction. Like I am asking какой сегодня день? Сегодня понедельник. Okay, какой сегодня день? Сегодня вторник. Какой сегодня день? Сегодня среда, четверг, пятница, and finally суббота and воскресенье. Okay, now let's go ahead to the important part of the module where we will be discussing about various other important aspects which belong to the animate and inanimate. Whenever we are saying animate and inanimate, which means that in inanimate we use что. For that, anything which is non-living can be used, and in animate anybody which is living being can be used. So for example, if I am saying это стол, this is a table, so the question would be что это стол. If it is a person, for example Ivan, then кто это Иван, это Иван, это мой брат Иван, this is my brother Ivan. But whenever you are saying inanimate, что это стол, это мой стол. So this is the basic difference between animate and inanimate, and accordingly we have several concepts in the Russian grammar which can be used to define these two important aspects. Okay, now let's go ahead. Here we are going to talk about a very important aspect. Since we have already done the days of the week, now we will be discussing about the months of year. As you know, in Russian we have all months defined very well, and now we can talk about these months as January, Yanvar, February, February, March is Mart, April is April, May is Mai, June is June, July is Yul, August is August, September is September, October is October, November is Noyabr, and December is December. So you can also use месяц. Месяц means month. Какой это месяц? So which month is this? You can use это январь, this is January, это февраль, это март, это апрель, май, это июнь, это июль, это август, это сентябрь, это октябрь, это ноябрь, and это декабрь. So according to the usage and context, you can also make sentences of different type of situations and many other forms which can be used with the help of the months of the year. Okay, now let's go ahead. So now we are going to talk about a particular text. As you know, as a methodological tool, texts are very useful in order to understand the basics of Russian. So here we are going to talk about this text. Please pay attention. Это Антон Петрович. Он инженер. So here the character is Anton Petrovich and his profession is that he is an engineer. Он инженер. Он хороший специалист. So here we are saying that he is a good specialist, specialist. So this kind of words we borrow from other languages, in this case specialist is a borrowed term. On kharoshi specialist, emu 40 प्याज लियत. So here now we are going to have one example where the counting is being used. 40 प्याज, 40 means 40, प्याज 5, 45. Emu 40 प्याज लियत. He is 45 years old. So you can also change the number, the age, whenever you are using that in your own text. Okay, so the next line is Anton Petrovich Dobry Chilaviak. Anton Petrovich, the name, is a Dobry Chilaviak. He is a kind man. Dobry, good, kind, Chilaviak, man. So he is a kind man. Вот его жена Vera Vasilievna, and this is his wife. As we already know, for husband we use muž, and for wife we use жена. So вот его жена Vera Vasilievna. Vera Vasilievna is the name of lady who is the wife of Anton Petrovich. Она тоже engineer. Она тоже engineer means she is also an engineer. So whenever we want to use expression of also means in Russian тоже. Она тоже engineer. Ей 41 год. So in case of 45 years old, we used 45 let. But when we say 1, then we change it to god. So один год, 2 года, 3 года, 4 года, 5 лет. So please keep that in your mind whenever we are using the numbers, especially referring to age. And we shall also be discussing about the particular case where we use this kind of construction. So ей 40 лет. She is 41 years old. Alright. Она очень добрая женщина. She is a very kind woman. Они вместе работают. And we have already learned about the word, the expression вместе in our previous modules, which means together. Они, they, вместе работают, they work together or they together work. So depending upon the context, you can change the translation. Alright, now let's pay attention to this line. Сегодня воскресенье. As you already know the days of the week, here we are going to use the day Sunday as воскресенье. Сегодня воскресенье. Today is Sunday. Они отдыхают дома. Они means both Anton Petrovich and Vera Vasilievna. Они отдыхают дома. They are taking rest, they are having rest at home. Сейчас Антон Петрович пишет письмо. Abhi means сейчас, which we can also use as we use now. Сейчас Anton Petrovich, the name of the person, пишет, is writing what? Pismo means letter. Right now or now, Anton Petrovich is writing a letter. Он любит писать длинные письма. Here we have changed it into plural. So письмо becomes письма when in plural. Он любит что? What does he love? Он любит, he loves to write. Он любит писать длинные письма. He loves to write long letters. Vera Vasilievna готовит обед. And Vera Vasilievna is preparing the lunch. Готовит обед. Кто? Она. Она готовит обед. She is preparing lunch. So for Anna, we are using the name Vera Vasilievna. Okay? So you can also conjugate the verb готовить like that. Она всегда готовит вкусный обед. Всегда. When do we use the expression всегда? To denote always. Она всегда, she always prepares вкусный обед. Вкусный is from the word вкус, means taste. Вкусный обед, tasty lunch. Now the next line is их. Их means Anton Petrovich and Vera Vasilievna. Их дочь, their daughter. Дочь Лена учится. The daughter studies. Она студентка. She is a student. Ей 18 лет. She is 18 years old. Она очень красивая. She is very beautiful. Сейчас она читает русский журнал «Новый мир». Right now she is reading the Russian journal called Novy Mir. So you can also replace some of the words, some of the constructions, some of the verbs in order to make your own text and try to communicate it with your family and friends so that you understand and communicate in Russian efficiently. Alright, now let's go ahead. So in our next module we will be discussing about such other more cases of Russian, and I hope that you like this module, and based on this module you will be having various exercises with your family and friends so that you find learning Russian and easy and efficient. So I hope in the next module we will be discussing about many more things. Thank you.